Well, hi folks, this is Darren with My RV Works, and we're going to add another furnace repair to our furnace playlist. If you do have issues with your furnace, we invite you to check out our playlist. I have well over 30 videos diagnosing furnaces and getting into how to diagnose them and how to troubleshoot them. I might make this one a part 2. Part 1, it's the same furnace, different day, right? In another video, we worked on this exact same furnace, and I had mentioned in that video that we were going to be replacing the motor, and there was also an intermittent issue with the furnace where it will ignite, extinguish, ignite, extinguish. So we'll make a link to that video above, and in that video, we dove pretty deep into how all these wires work. We actually took the meter and probed into the different circuits, watching the circuits arrive and depart as the different features of the furnace worked. And now this is an older Suburban furnace. It's an SF30F furnace. The serial number starts with the numbers 97. On a Suburban serial number, the first 2 digits tell us the year that the unit was manufactured. That's on all Suburban parts, water heaters, everything. This furnace starts with the number 97. Therefore, this is a 1997 era furnace. It's got the time delay relay that controls your fan, okay? So if you have a furnace that's older, it will have this time delay relay. Don't be surprised if you're watching this video and you do not have this time delay relay and all the timing features is done on the control board on your furnace. But there's enough of these furnaces out there where you can gain benefit and value by watching us diagnose the circuit on the first part. In that video, this furnace had 2 issues. 1, the intermittent flame out, and 2, the motor squeals really loud. I'll go ahead and start it up for you. And it's an intermittent squealing, but it is obnoxious when it does start to squeal. So we will be replacing this motor. I don't have the gas connected to it, and I just heard a little bit of a squeal there. I just put some foil tape over it. So now you hear the squealing, okay? That squealing gets pretty obnoxious and you can hear it like a mile away. It's really bad. When your motors are squealing like that, there is no serviceable part on the motor, and your solution is to replace the motor. It's sealed bearings, so your only option there is to replace the motor. Where are you going to find out what kind of motor you need? So I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing off. You hear it squealing, okay? So I'm going to turn it off. In that previous video, we made a link to above. You can understand what I'm doing with my wires and all this. We went pretty deep in the wiring part of the furnace. No point in repeating myself. Okay, so now we obviously hear the squealing sound. What I'll do now is I'll do a breakaway, and I'll do a video within a video. I'll do a screen share. So basically I'll go to my computer and do a screen share. Where we're going to go is a website called PanTerraSales.com, and I'm going to walk you through some exploded views that they have made available for free. And if a company, I'll say it, if a company makes a resource like that available, I'm going to direct people to it. It's a tremendous, phenomenal resource. So we'll go do that, and I'll show you how to determine what motor you need for your furnace. And then when we get back from that, we'll go ahead and get started replacing the motor now that we have realized the correct part number. So let's jump over to the screen share, and then we'll come back and we'll start taking this apart with the new motor that we have established it should be. So we were just talking about needing to get a part for a furnace, and so the question then becomes is, well, what's the part number that we need to get? There's a lot of furnace motors out there. How do I know which one I'm going to get? And I want to introduce a resource to you that we have been using for a number of years, and that resource is made available to us from Pantera Sales. Now, Pantera Sales is a RV wholesaler. They're located in Fort Worth, Texas. When we started our business around 2014 timeframe, we got an account with them, and they showed us a lot of love, and we bought a lot of stuff from them to get our business started. So they're a great company. They make a resource available, and here's our website, PanTerraSales.com. So you might want to make that a bookmark. This is not a paid advertiser or anything, but if a company like this is going to make a resource available to us in the field, then I'm going to give them a biggest shout out I can as a way we can say thank you. And as a way you can say thank you, if a company is going to make a resource available for you to get your work done, then by all means, let's support them, okay? So on their main page, what I want you to do is come down here to their quick reference parts breakdown and then click view. So when we do that, we're going to, you could read the little part right there, but what's going to open up is this little app right here. And then we're going to actually, now you can share it out to yourself. And I did that and made it a link on my phone. And I believe it's cached on my phone or something, because I've been in situations where I do not have internet and I'm still able to open this on my phone for parts breakdowns and things like that. So we're going to click the full screen view. The way this is laid out is alphabetical. So let's click one more button, and it's this one right here. This is the grid view. So you don't get a table of contents with hyperlinks and things like that, but if you do the grid view, you do see all the sheets. It looks in the bottom left there, 276 of these parts breakdown sheets. Tremendous resource. And so, again, a big thank you, a big shout out to Pantera for making this resource available. When you got the Pantera catalog, you know, when you placed your order and you asked for a catalog, they sent you the catalog. All these sheets were printed in the back section of the catalog under breakdowns. And then now they've made this tremendous resource available to us online, and they don't charge for it. So this is tremendous resource. So I just can't stress enough how much we appreciate this, and send Pantera some love as a way to say thank you for this, because they're helping you get your business done, and they sell stuff. So let's just buy stuff from them, right? So it's laid out alphabetically is how they've done it. So we start off with A&E awnings, and then we're going to go down here to A for Atwood. And then, why is this not scrolling? Okay, there's a delay between me moving my mouse scroller and this thing moving. So then we're going to have C for Coleman, and then D for Dometic. Anyway, we're going to cruise down here because we need to get to S for Suburban. Yeah, but you see how these parts break down. Is this tremendous? Here we are in Norcold here. And okay, so I've used this enough to know that the Suburban sheets have this black banner header thing at the top of them, okay? Whereas like with Norcold or whatever, you can kind of make out the word Norcold on some of these. But so these would be your Suburban. So let's click on this. We're looking for a motor. So here we have furnaces. Now, how do I know these are Suburban? Because right down here in nice little bitty letters, it says Suburban. Now, this does look like it's a little bit out of focus. To me, it does. Maybe it's recording that way as well. I can assure you that when you're on their website and you're looking at this, this is nice, clean, crisp, and clear. But for, I don't know, I'm using an app to do screen capture, and it looks like my screen's blurry, so I'm not able to really make out what some of those things say, and that's unfortunate. Anyway, but you're probably not going to be looking up the same exact part that I'm looking up, but obviously use this as a resource. Okay, so we're looking for a motor. So there's no motor on this page. So let's turn the page here. Let's click that. Okay, turn the page. Here's our motors. Now here's 120 volt motors, and here is the 12 volt motors. I could barely make out the word 12 up there. I just happen to know that these are where this is where they're located. Now, I had made the statement that if you're going to order a part, you need to know the model number and the serial number. It doesn't matter, like if I was going to go to the Napa counter and get a part for my truck, then it's going to matter that it's a 2015 Ford F-250 or it's F-350 Super Duty. That matters to that parts counter. But when it comes to RV work, we don't really need to know what kind of RV this is in. That does not help us at all. What we need to know as RV parts counter people is what is the appliance, what's the appliance model number, manufacturer, and what's the serial number of that appliance. That's what we need to know. And if this was more clear, you would be able to see what I'm talking about. So I could barely make that out. I know that this is where it's at because I used this recently to get the motor. So this is going to say, now our furnace outside that we're working on is an SF30F. So right in here, I've got the SF model, and it's an SF30F is this one right here. And it's going to say 2.5 inch motor, and there is my part number right there. But if we look on down and see, these are blurry, but it's going to say SF30F. Let's just pretend it's this one right here because it's blurry, I can't tell. But it's going to say above serial number, and that serial number is going to be a 0. It's going to start with 01 and a bunch of other numbers. The 2 digits we're most interested in on these serial numbers is the first 2 digits. Maybe there's other digits if they did a mid-year thing. On Suburban, the first 2 digits of the serial number is a year of manufacture. So our furnace outside that we're working on is a 97 blah, blah, blah. Therefore, the furnace came out in 97. And here where it says above serial number 01 blah, 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 then that furnace came out in 2001. So our furnace is a 97. Therefore, it is not going to be this 3-inch motor. There's your serial number. It's going to be the 2.5 inch motor. because it's before the serial number. And that is why I'm saying when you go get a part, we need to know the serial number. If you just walk into the parts counter and you say you have a Suburban SF30F, they're not going to know, and they might just give you this one, and you get all set up to do your job and you realize that it's the wrong one. So that's why you need to know your serial number and your model number. Now, when you do replace a motor, that's just the motor, but you also need gaskets. And here they are right here. So here we have the gasket set here. A lot of times I'll just buy the complete gasket kit, but this would be if you have to access the burner electrode, then this is the part number for that. It's fuzzy and I can't figure this out. But anyway, a lot of times the gaskets for these motors are kind of like a styrofoam looking deal, and they're very brittle and they will crack. And so when you get your motor part, also get your gasket to go with that. Now, one more little best practice that I do as a mobile RV service person. Oh, this thing's taking forever. I will also have in stock a combustion wheel and a blower wheel. Sometimes these wheels are seized on the shafts, and you will spend a lot of time trying to get these motor wheels off. And so what I will do is for these like all 12 or 20 bucks or whatever, go ahead and have some in stock. Sometimes these are metal, and if that it's supposed to be a brass collet on a shaft and everything, great, wonderful, fantastic. This furnace is from 1997, and I might be the first one that's working on it after 30-something years or whatever that is. Well, not quite that long, 20-something years. These things might be seized on those shafts, okay? So you might need to basically destroy this combustion wheel just to get the motor out, okay? So it's good to have not only the motor, it's not enough just to buy the motor, you gotta buy the motor, the gasket kit, and I like to have one of each of these in stock at a minimum. This is a metal wheel, and if you have to manhandle that in any way to get this thing off, it's out of balance. Forget about it. There's no way you're gonna get it back in balance. So it's good to ensure your success and have these wheels available to you as well. So I wanted to share this with you. Let's jump back to the job at hand, but just know that this is a resource that's available to you. We'll go back out of this view, and yeah, as you're going about your day-to-day work with your RV, just use this as a resource, a tremendous resource. I've been having my catalog that I've been coveting my catalog. Oh, you can't have my catalog because all these breakdowns are in there. And here they made it available for everybody. So I wanted to share that with you. That's a resource that's available for you. And it's on panterasales.com. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That's where I'm getting my part numbers. And then you take that part number and then you go shopping. I would recommend shop from Pantera. But that's up to you. But just wanted to share that with you. All right, let's go back outside and get working on this furnace. Okay, so we just now watched how to find part numbers for different furnaces and refrigerators and appliances and all kinds of stuff. And so here we have the correct motor for this serial model number. And then we have a blower wheel. Actually, this is the combustion wheel. So we have one of those that has arrived. I have one of the metal wheels. All right, so here we have our combustion wheel. We may not need this. Maybe the wheel slides right off, but in my practice, it's best just to have one of those things. And then we've got the entire gasket kit that comes with. This is the one that we need to be very careful of. This is the one that goes between the motor. So you see how it's kind of like this little lightweight styrofoamy stuff. All right, so let's put that over here. And now when I take these furnaces apart, yes, we need to take some covers off, but typically my best practice is to gain access to the combustion wheel side, get that combustion wheel off, and then the blower wheel just comes right on out, okay? So let's see if that is our experience today. And you never know, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take off the control board. We may not need, so we're just gonna, I wanna move this out of the way. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Typically you can leave the blower housing on, not always, but oftentimes you can leave that on. But we do need to take off this ring. Sometimes if you have painted pins, or I'll just put a match mark on it. Right there, right there. Those little punches will tell me what up is. Okay, and so pretty sure that's all we need to take off. We don't need to take this off, but we'll find out. Mileage may vary. Most of our work is going to be on this side. So we're going to take off this access cover. Some of these are really, there's so many screws to take off to get to these. Oh, he's giving me grief. The NT furnaces have a lot more parts to take off. All right, it's this one right here. It's stripped on its, there's a little, there it comes. All right, now, see if this comes off. So you see that gasket is sticking, and I might be damaging it when we take this off. I will typically make a best practice to replace the gasket every time anyway. So there's some rust in there, but that doesn't look too bad. Not for a furnace that's 26 years old. So then we're going to gently try to take off this gasket here. And that's why I was saying it's always good to, when you get your motor, also get a gasket. It's not worth doing all this work to put a new motor on and then use your old gasket again. It's just not. Okay, so even though I was careful, it did tear. I have a new gasket anyway. All right, so we need to, sometimes there's a hole in here. No, sometimes they have a hole right through here. So we need to get this off. Oh, eeny, meeny, mo. Let's see if it's this guy here. No. So he's, nope. Let's see if you get it on the first try. There we go. So hopefully we could just take this combustion wheel off and it'll be easy for us. PB Blaster is a great product to squirt in here to help to get that off. And in fact, let me go get some. Let me get some PB Blaster just to let it soak in there. Okay. We squirted. Now this is a great product. I love it. It's good for breaking the bolts and stuff like that. So, okay, it's a plastic wheel. You can't get underneath it. And like I said, sometimes you will lose, oh my gosh, I have so much time trying to get these, if they're really seized on there. And there's really no tool to get back behind it. So it really makes it difficult. And that's why I say sometimes you just get another wheel. And if this comes off awkward, then so be it. It's coming, slowly but surely. If you have a best practice you'd like to share, I'm all ears. I can already tell I'm probably going to be replacing this just because I'm bending it so much just to get it out. But that's why I say, wherever it is, get another one. Just to have. There we go. Okay, so we finally got the wheel off. Okay, and the wheel still looks okay. It is a little bendable. I might put it back on, and if it starts to make some wobbly sounds, then I'll certainly put the new one on. Another best practice that I do is I'll put some anti-seize paste on all these shafts when I put it back together. So in the next 20 years, the next person that works on this thing doesn't have to fight like I just did. Now what we're after is these screws down in there. So we want to get those screws out and the motor will fall right out. Okay, so you don't need to take all the rest of this out. Just take the blower wheel off, the combustion wheel off, and those two screws. Let me go get a socket set. Okay, so it's a 3/8. And now if we are lucky, we have to get our wiring off, but if we are lucky, that should pop out. There it goes. All right, let's get our wiring off. Let's see, here is the motor wire for that one. Okay, and then we need to, so what I'm after here is I'm disconnecting the wire leads that go to the motor. A little bit of housekeeping is always good. All right, now we should, yeah, there we go. So like I said, we did not need to take all of this off. We just needed to take off the combustion wheel, get to these two nuts, and the whole thing slides out. Now this is the metal wheel. There's your, I think it's brass on aluminum. I'm gonna go ahead and squirt some of this in there right now and just let it sit for a little bit. And so yeah, no reason to take all this apart. Let's just see if we can set him like that. Now while I've got this apart, it would be good to check our sail switch. You can see in there the sail switch. See the sail switch in there. Okay, so this looks fine. And let's get our next motor ready. And we're gonna need this big rubber piece. And you know what's great is those little workmate tables, because this fits inside of a hole. So we'll do that with it. And what we're looking for is that Allen key right in there. And it is not the same size as this other one. It's one size smaller. There it is. Okay, so if this wheel gets stressed in any way, I'm going to replace it, because otherwise, good luck trying to get these back in balance. My Allen key is so worn out on the end, it's rounding because I use it so much. So I have another set that I might go get. So it looks like this is 1/8 of an inch Allen key in here. Okay, I got in there. Oh, you dog. Okay, let's get in there. There it is. Okay, There we go. We got it to break. Okay. So best case scenario, this will slide off. Gotta be very gentle not to bend your... It's not even moving. Okay, so let's squirt some more of this on there. Oh, look, it's moving. Haha. There, we got lucky. Okay, it came right off. Whew. Okay, so this is still good. Sometimes you'll have some rust on these things and it's just impossible to get cleaned. So this is the motor that's squealing. Okay, so we're done with him. And we'll get our new motor. And looking at the motor, I see that I have my wire leads on this side, which is a combustion wheel side. This is the blower wheel side. And I did say I was going to put down some anti-seize on there, so let me go grab that real quick. Okay, so this would be the high temperature anti-seize compound. Okay, there's your Amazon ASIN number. I will make a link to this product on our Amazon affiliate store. So whenever I work on these things, I'm always going to put some of this on it just to show some love to the next technician that's working on it, which might be me. But if we do our job right, we won't need to work on this furnace. Maybe an annual service every so often, but okay. So a little bit of copper seize on there. Now I want to clean my finger. Here, that's what the tool bag's for, right? Yay. All right. So I'm going to look for my flat spot on my drive shaft. Put this in here thusly. Right there. Now, I am going to put this eyeball where it was originally. But when I put it back in, I might need to bring this in and out a few times to get this in the center of this blower wheel. Okay, but I've got it in there the same. But we're running the table here, trying to say that, hey, these two drive shafts are the exact same size. So they may not be. So what I'm trying to do is get my Allen key back in there. There it is. Okay, and just cinch it over. Okay, cool. All right. And we're going to use our same rubber gasket thing here. Let's see, they wanted it this way. Okay, now we put it back in. Could probably put that rubber thing in at the other end, but let's just... I'd love for you guys to see in here. Okay, so here's my motor wires. They came out of my hole. Pushing it through. Holes are at 12 and 6. And I've got my little rubber gasket that I'm fighting to turn. It's stuck. There it is. So the rubber gasket goes right there. We go. Come on. This little gasket is giving me grief. Come on. There we are. Yay. All right. Okay, so we got it. Put one nut on. Another nut. Okay, I've got some nuts on that'll hold it. Wonderful. So I'm just going to make sure, I'm looking down inside, making sure that my gasket is centered, you know, where I want it to be. And that motor's coming up to me, so I've got a little bit more play. All right, so let's show you what we got there. So you see what I'm after here is that the black O-ring is in the center there, okay? So now what we look for is, on this side, is the wheel kind of in the center, and it is, okay? So we're good there. If I had to, I could come in from the front here and loosen my Allen key and move my wheel in, but it's right in the center, and I'm not rubbing on anything. So that's good. We didn't damage the wheel, the lower wheel when we did it. While we're on this side, remember those match marks I put on, because this has a little bit of a flat spot right here, and I got a match mark there and a match mark there. The flat spot goes on the bottom, so I'm lining up my match marks that I made, and it takes all the guesswork out. So this goes here. Let's go ahead and put that on, because we're done on the side. Make sure, yeah, that's the right size screw. Okay. Lovely. Okay, and we're spinning and we're not grinding on anything. Okay, now we flip this over. And now we fight this. There's still some anti-seize on there. This is designed to be bendable, so I'm going to put it back on. If it makes any noises or anything, we'll certainly put the other combustion wheel on. But let's just spin this. You know, I think we're good. I really do. I honestly do. I do this to my very own. And then we'll put our collet on. Yes, okay. Where'd our Allen key end up at? Right here. Now, is it the same size? No, it's the next size up. So the inner blower wheel, it looks like it's an 1/8, and this one is going to be up from that. So it looks like we're going to get lucky, and we're not going to need to use the blower wheels that we have, but I still like having them. You saw how we had to fight, but PB Blaster is your friend here. Okay, millwright tight is what we're after. There's a story behind that. Okay. Spinning for any sounds. Okay, now I'll do what's called like a bench test on this. So I'm going to lay it down, make sure nothing's touching. These are the 2 wires that go to my motor, and so I build and market and sell a test lead set. And so what I want to do is connect. What do I want to do? I'll do with these. So this is something that I have come up with, and it's called the test lead set. I make these little harnesses because if you're working with your fluke leads, these black and white wires are always getting intertangled. So I made a silicone so it works when it's really cold and it doesn't freeze, and I keep them parallel. So it makes wire management a lot easier. And then I use stacking banana connectors on the end, and you can build what you need. So here I've just made this one, and so I'm going to make him go ground and him go plus. Okay, and then I'll take my 12-volt battery pack. I mean, I got a battery right there, but what I want to do is just run this and make sure that I'm not making any weird sounds. Okay, so I'm not hearing anything weird. It's enough to use a 12-volt battery pack for that. And so the test lead set I use for all kinds of things, and so you just saw me use it for that. So if you want to get your very own, you can get that from our myreviewworks.com website, and you can go to our tools, and there's all kinds of clips and things to make it do stuff. So this red one is going to connect on to our time delay relay, and then the black one is going to go down here, do some little wire management, make them go around that way, underneath to here. Where are you coming in at? Right there. Okay, let's move you over to this side. There we go. And just going to connect to... it's falling over. On the back of these furnaces, all of your grounds are right here. So we're just going to grab one of them. There we go. Okay, he's connected to frame. Okay. Now, let's see here. There we are. So I'm going to make sure this is nice and clean. I am not going to use this gasket. I'm going to get a new one. Okay. And we will put a new gasket on here, which I would like you guys to do as well. And this little jewel, so he's got a little fin sticking up on there. Be advised when you're taking this thing apart, that's what you're fighting. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And then we put all the screws in. So as you see, replacing a motor is not a big deal. You don't have to take the whole thing apart. It is nice to be able to pull the furnace out to get to these screws on the side, but I have done it with the furnace in place. Getting to these screws is a bit tough, but you know, you invest in the tools to allow you to make right-hand turns on things. And it makes it kind of easy. That's the one that was given a screw before. Okay, we got all of our screws there. This is now trash. Put him over there. I was missing a screw, and it's on the bottom. All right, now we reconnect this one. Okay, we're going to do a full-on test. First thing I want to do is what we started with. Let's get some wire management going on here. What is this guy doing here? I'll tell you what. Take these off. In the process of building, our wires got all twisted. There we go. Okay, so we'll go with black as being minus and red as being plus. Connect our negative. Okay, and then this little waggle connector is symbolism of my thermostat. So I connect. What's happening now is this time delay relay is heating itself up, and when it gets to a certain temperature, it's going to close, and that's when our fan will start. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit to listen for it to squeal. Before, it would squeal. Sometimes it would do it right away, sometimes not, but it's working really nice. I could do a current draw on the motor. What we're after is about 10 amps, or 10 amps when it is installed. So I'm going to zero out my meter. Okay. I expect probably closer to 6 right here. Yeah, okay, 6.3, because it's consuming 6.3 amps, but it's not working right now. In other words, it's not trying to push the air through all the ducts. When the furnace pushes the air through all the ducts, this number is usually closer to around 10. So there we have it. That is all that's involved in swapping out a motor. And we can see it in here. Nice, pretty motor. Our gasket's nice and centered. We know everything's tight. I'm not hearing any weird sounds of the combustion wheel making any scrapey sounds, or the blower wheel making any weird scrapey sounds. And so I think we're going to have a happy customer. I think we're going to have a happy camper as well. So I'm going to land my plane on this one. Hope you had added value to you on the screen share that I did with the PanteraSales.com for getting your part numbers for your exploded view. This is a Suburban Furnace. A lot of these on the Suburbans, a lot of them you get in from this side. You don't even need to take this off at all. You do need to take the bezel ring off just to get your blower wheel out. But hey, if this was helpful and added value to you, give us a thumb up. We really appreciate that. And share it with your friends. And if you have any questions, I like to read the comments. I may not be able to reply to every comment because there's just so many coming in, and I'm still a working man. But we do enjoy reading the comments, good, bad, and ugly. And yeah, I hope you found value in this. Happy camper, same RV works. And so I'm going to jump on to the next task. And so I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.